Now, for those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, before we get going, I'm going to have to ask you guys if, to please not send me any text messages while I'm up here, because let me tell you, when you're moving around like this and suddenly you get a text, it's like hitting the wall. It's very uncomfortable and it can throw you off. So if you want to do anything like that, please save it toward the end of the event. That would be awesome. And I appreciate that very much. Also, if you can stay clear of the stage area here, this way nobody blocks this big display behind me, right? It gives me a little bit of room to move around, do that whole hosting thing, right? Now, also, you're going to notice at the very top of your menu wheel in your lower left there is a microphone icon, and it looks kind of like this, right? Now, when that microphone icon is clear, that means we can hear everything that's happening in your environment, right? So we've gone ahead and we've turned it to red, and this means that you're muted. So if somebody comes into your space and says, "Hey, are you still on that thing?" Right? We're not going to hear that, so feel free to answer them. Likewise, if you have a barking dog in the background, you're not going to face social ruin back at the campfire by becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking during its quest time, right? Now, just because you're muted doesn't mean you can't express yourself. You're going to notice that there's a pink cheeked smiley face in your menu wheel there, and when you click on it, it's going to open up your emoji panel and give you a wide variety of options with which to express yourself. If I share something really deep, something powerful, something meaningful, and it starts to build up inside you can just let it out and just let it flow just like that. And maybe, just maybe, I've got some backup dancers backstage, right? And maybe we bring in It's Quest Time, the musical, right? And you're all very impressed. So I could throw up the applause that I live for, and I could take a moment to drink it all in because it feels good. No, seriously, it really does. Keep doing that. That's awesome. Wow, okay. I'm enjoying this. I am. Also, you can do a smiley face to indicate a yes if I ask you guys a question. Maybe you could say no by frowning like this, right? And if you want to show me that you're laughing, you can do a silly face emoji just like this. And then there's this thing. This is by far the most distracting of all the emojis. It really is. All right. And we're going to use this not to ask a question. We will be taking questions and comments at the end. But if you do this, it's to alert me that something's gone wrong. This is going to be part of our sacred bond, our agreement between me and you, the audience, right? So if something goes wrong, like I'm waving my hands around, you're like, wow, that guy looks like he's talking, but no sound's coming out. That's when you want to do that. Or maybe the mods have seen It's Quest Time one too many times, they've had enough, and they decide to burn down my set. Don't laugh, that's actually happened. And you want to tell me that, Michael Forrest, there's a forest, there's a forest fire? I don't believe I actually just said that. All right, there's a fire behind you and you need to know, right? So that's the kind of thing. This is how you would let me know about that. Now, if I see one of them go up, I'm probably going to keep on going because maybe it's somebody just messing around. But if I see 5 of them going up at one time, I know there's a problem that I need to address. Sometimes we can have sound issues in here and stuff like that. Now, also, if you press the X in the middle of the emoji panel, that'll make the emoji panel disappear, but you're going to want to keep it open during events like this because if you want, it gives me feedback, it lets me know how I'm doing, but more importantly, it lets the people around you know what you're experiencing. So like if the person next to you starts going like this, right, that means they found something funny, and you may not agree. You might be like, well, that's not funny at all. I'm going to go stand over here, and you can do that because this is VR, just not right here because this is the stage, and as you know, we have our agreement, right? That's our sacred pact. Okay, cool. All right, now what's Quest Time about? Quest Time is an event for Oculus Quest users, all right? And let me get an idea of how, but if all people are welcome. So if you're on a device, feel free to hang out. You'll pick up some useful information to help the growing Quest community because there's new Quest users arriving in Altspace each and every day. Let me get some idea of how to set out, though. I hope you still have those emoji panels up, right? How many of you are on a Quest right now? Throw me up some hearts, show me some love for the Quest, or just stick your hands in the air because you can. All right, let me see. Let me see. All right, that's a lot of Quest users. Good, awesome, very cool, very cool. How many of you are new users? How many of you are new to Altspace? All right, we got, wow, okay, a lot of new users. Welcome to Altspace. You're really going to love it. It's a lot of fun, great stuff to do in here. It's a really great place. How many of you have switched over from an Oculus Go to be on an Oculus Quest? Any former Go users? I see a couple hands up. Maybe you're on a Go right now and you're thinking about getting a Quest. That's possible too. All right, how many of you are recently got your Quest? You're new Quest users. Any new Quest users here today? All right, cool. All right, wow, welcome. You guys are in for a treat. That's awesome. All right. Just to give you some idea, right? I used to be on an Oculus Go all the time, right? For a long time, over a year actually. And when I first was waiting for my Quest, I couldn't wait to get this because in Altspace, I don't know if you were aware of this, but on the Oculus Go, you only have one controller, right? And I grew up in Brooklyn, so I'm used to talking with my hands a lot. But so basically with the one controller, I was like this in Altspace, and I didn't feel like I was expressing myself as fully as I could, right? So couldn't wait to get this hand so I could do this, or maybe this, or maybe a little bit of this, right? And I was waiting for this controller, and I couldn't wait. And when this controller arrived, right, I took one look at this thing, and I was like, man, that's a lot of buttons. All right. So if you're a new Quest user, it may take a little bit of time to get used to this. So I like to go over to some movement exercises to get everybody acclimated. If you've been around for a while, though, and you're already used to it, don't worry. We're going to do some movement exercises. It'll be a lot of fun for everybody. But while we get used to that, listen, if you're here, you know the basics, okay? You know that the left thumbstick can move you around like this. You know the right thumbstick can turn you in these circles. And when you combine them, you get these big, elaborate circles that make my presentation so much more dramatic. Everybody, give me these big circles, because when I look out into the audience, it looks like you guys are ballroom dancing, and I want to see that. Let me see. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, you guys are fancy. Oh, that's really nice, especially with the new avatars. Look at them go. So I always say, I wish you guys could see what I see up here, right? And now you can. If you notice Raven and I floating up in the air above you guys, that's our YouTube channel, right? So if you want to feel Altspace famous, turn around and give a wave out to YouTube. Be like, hey, YouTube, how's it going? We got a lot of people in here. We got Skate King 09. We got Sakaro. We've got Panda floating in pink up in the air like that. We've also got Crimsy right here. We've got Sir Chappie T, and we've got TNT, one of our regulars. All right, so, wave on out there and feel Altspace famous. We've got a lot of people in here. Come on in, Altspace. I think you'll enjoy it. All right, cool. Now, let's see, what else do we have? We're going to talk about some of these controls and how they work, okay? The first one we're going to talk about is the grip button. On your right controller, on your left controller, on the side of them, you have this grip button, and that's what's enabling me to hold this laser pointer. If you have your world's beta building program, not easy to say, but easy enabled through your settings menu, and under general, if you have that enabled, you'll be able to build worlds with your own two hands, right? And you're going to be using the grip button to grab things in Altspace, like rockets and things like that. Also, you can use the basketballs, right, like these. You're going to try these by grabbing these with your grip button. You can give that a try. Just in case you've never done it before, I want you to get a feel for it. So then toss a couple of those out and just throw those around. Enjoy those. All right, now, if you are having a standing experience, if you're having a room scale experience, right, what can happen in Altspace is you're going to walk out past your main menu. And for some reason, whenever that happens, that's always the time somebody says, open your main menu, right? And you look around, you'd be like, oh, where is this thing? And you look around for it, right? And it's like always behind you for some reason. I don't know. That's the way it works out. Now, it's important to remember that on a Quest, your main menu is in your hands at all times. On your left controller, you're going to notice you have this flat button down toward the bottom. When you press on that, your main menu is going to open up in front of you. As a matter of fact, that blue and white triangle button in your menu, and you haven't that thing in months, right? What you can do is just press that flat menu button instead, right? And you can even flick your hand out like that, make a cool gesture, like my menu just opened. Now my menu's closed. Now my menu's open. Now it's closed. You don't have to do the hand flick. It doesn't make work any differently. I just think it's fun. All right, let's see what else do we have here. Now, also, when I first came in on my Quest, I went to the campfire, right? And I was feeling really good. I felt like I was floating on air, right? Actually, we all kind of are, because we lost our legs. We're all kind of floating around now. But I noticed that I was taller than everybody, all right? And what you can do is, for instance, if somebody's willing to change their height, like I think Rogan is a little bit up there right now. Rogan, show everybody what happens when you press down on your left thumbstick. Press down on that left thumbstick there. Show everybody what happens. No? Okay. You're not. All right. Is anybody willing to change their height for me? Oh, here we go. Panda, come over here. All right. Now press down on your left. Oh, wow. Look at that. Try doing it again so we can do it a little bit slower for everybody. Lift yourself up if you don't mind. All right. Now press down on your left thumbstick. Show it. Boom. Just like that. All right. So when you're feeling too tall or you're feeling too short in Altspace, all you have to do is press down on that left thumbstick like it's a button, because it is, and it's going to recenter you. The important thing to remember is that you're looking straight ahead when you do this, because if you're looking down when you do it, what you're going to notice is I pop up a little bit, right? So this movement is attached to your head. So if you look straight ahead and then press down, boom, just like that, you're going to recenter, and it's going to make you more comfortable if you're feeling too tall or too short. All right. Another thing to keep in mind is this on your right controller here is your teleport button. You also have it on your left controller, but that has not been working. I hope they fix that. But if everybody wants to try lining up against this wall here, right? Everybody line up against this wall. And what you can do is press down on that right teleport button, right? And aim it across the room, right? Aim it right across the room. You got that circle right there. And as soon as you let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room. Teleport over to me while there's still time. Another cool thing is on your left controller, if you squeeze down that trigger, right, it's going to cause you to go faster. So everybody run with me right now. We're going to go around the room in a big circle, everybody. Let's know if you get dizzy, don't do this thing. I don't want to make anybody sick. But if you make this big circle right here, we can make a hurricane. Let's make it rain, people. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, let's see how you did. That's not really very circular. Well, that's kind of circular-ish. It's more like, it's actually kind of like a square. I don't think I've ever seen a square before, but it's kind of like you guys are going in a square. Anybody feeling dizzy yet? If you're feeling dizzy, you probably shouldn't do that thing. I'm just saying. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Also, if you, oh yeah, another thing too, with the teleport button right now, if you if you hold down that trigger, like the way we were just going fast, you face the stage and you hold down that trigger on the left controller and go backwards and then teleport at the floor. You can do the Altspace moonwalk like that, which I really hope is not a copyright violation because I like that bit. Another cool thing with the teleport button that you can do is one time you guys probably notice I come down into the audience an awful lot, right? And what happens is sometimes, like when I'd have the audience crowd me and I need to get back up on the stage. And then one time at a reflex, I tried this. And, you're always learning new stuff in Altspace, right? What I did was I put my hand over my shoulder like this, right? And then boom, I was right back up on the stage, right? So you can actually teleport backwards. Give that a try. Just put it over your shoulder like that and teleport backwards. It's a lot of fun. And it gives you a lot of options. One time I was at the Universe, and at the end, I was going around exploring the event. And back then it was held in a really large world. And I walked up to the edge of the world, and I actually fell off the world. And as I'm falling, I look over, and there's this cliff over there on the side. And what I did was I aimed my teleporter at that cliff, and then boom, I was flung to safety before I could respawn, because it's not like you can get hurt in space, right? But at that point, I knew I was starting to get a handle on the controls, and you will too. It only takes a few days to a week before you stop thinking about it. There's going to come a point in time where, while you'll always still feel the plastic in your hands, you're just going to, feel like these are actually, they become your hands. Like, if I tell everybody to look out that window right now, I don't think about how I'm pointing. I just do it. Right. And so just to show you an idea how this is done, if you squeeze your grip buttons, you're going to notice that your hands go into this point like this. Right. And you can all give me like a Brooklyn hello by doing it like this, kind of like everybody, kind of like, how you doing, like that. Right. All right, cool. Nice. Very nice. And you can put these together. Right. Like this, twist them together, make a camera like frame like that. How cool would it be? And if you could squeeze a trigger button, it's like you're getting a shutter type action going on there. How cool would it be to take screenshots like this? Also, you can put your hands together like this, make a triangle, make like the Altspace logo, and hold them high. Show me some Altspace pride, everybody. Put them up nice and high. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. That looks cool. All right. Hope that comes out on YouTube because that looks awesome. All right. Another thing you can do is if you squeeze your trigger buttons, you give me 2 thumbs up, just like that. Right? Say I'm doing a good job, 2 thumbs up. Right? Maybe I'm not doing a good job. Give me 2 thumbs down. Right? Maybe you don't know yet. Give me a little bit of both. Then there's this thing. I've been seeing this a lot lately. I don't quite know what that means. But also, if you touch the thumb to the buttons without pressing down, your thumbs will also go down, right? You can kind of combine this into a cool dance move. I'm told that this, doesn't look as cool as it feels, but you know what? I'm going to keep on dancing just like that. All right, cool. What else do we have? Now, also, listen, while these are a lot of buttons, don't let it overwhelm you because a lot of these buttons do the same thing. You're going to notice that this select button here, your right trigger, and if you have your left pointer enabled, this select button here, they all do the same thing. If you hold down your right trigger now and you move through the crowd, you're going to notice everybody's name tag appears above their head, right? That's how I know everybody's name so quickly. That's how I know that that's Omar, and that's Caden right there, and that's Crimsy, and we've also got Sakura over here on the side, and that's how you see everybody's names, appear above their head like that, okay? So that's pretty easy and good to do. Now, there's another important button that you need to be aware of, except I've lost my laser pointer and can't tell. There it is. There we go. There we go. It's right here. All right, cool. Now, there's another button you need to be aware of, right? And don't press this now, because if you guys disappear, I'm going to feel it, okay? All right, but this is good. Like if somebody comes into your space and says, hey, dinner's ready, right? You're going to need a quick way out of Altspace. And the best way is to press this flat button on your right controller. You got to think of this like your eject button, okay? When you press this, you're going to see a menu appear in front of you, and you're going to have an option to quit or resume. Now, if you press quit, the app will close, all right? And, and then you can just, go out and have your dinner and all that kind of stuff. But if you press this by accident, like you're at the Universe and you're dancing around, you accidentally, hit that button, you can hit resume and you'll come right back into Altspace. Nobody will even know you're gone. And then Unity won't destroy you with her awesome admin powers. You won't even know you were gone. All right, cool. Now, what else do we have? Now, this button is good to press in the event that something goes wrong. Okay, this bottom flat button on the right controller, let's say that you're in Altspace and you turn your head and the whole world moves with you. This can make you feel kind of sick, especially if you're new to VR and you're going to need a way to get out in a hurry. This eject button's perfect for that. All right. Now, there are also going to be times where, like, let's say you look to the left and there's a black void and you're like, oh no, a black void. And then you look to the right and at the top and the bottom and the black void's all around the edges of the screen. And you're like, oh no, it's spreading. And all of your friends are frozen in space like this. So what you do is you hit that bottom eject button there and, and it doesn't work. And you're like, Michael Forrest lied to me. That's not what's going on. What's going on is your device is frozen. You're going to need a quick way to restart it. Now, what happens is sometimes an app will lock up like this, not just Altspace, but a lot of apps on the Quest will just freeze like that. When this happens, you need a quick way to restart the headset. Now, what I would do in the beginning was I would take my headset off, right? Oh, I see somebody doing this, right? TNT's doing this. That's another cool thing. If you guys I've picked up gestures from people. The best way to learn this stuff is when you see somebody doing something cool that you like, just do it back. One of the first questions we had, somebody came up to the stage doing this, right? And I thought it looked cool, right? So I started doing it back, and then the whole room started doing it. We had like 60 people all going like that. It's a lot of fun. It's the best way to make these gestures your own. But as I was saying, the best way to, when things go wrong like that, if things are frozen like that, the best way to do it is to learn how to restart your headset while it's still on your head. Because especially if you're playing plugged in, right, and you're not in a charge cycle and the device doesn't light up and it takes a while to restart, you might get to thinking that your device is broken like I did, right? So what you can do is take your index finger and swipe it on the side of your device, right? And you'll feel that raised up power button there. And when you feel it, take your left index finger and put it on the other side as a counterbalance. Then you squeeze those fingers together so that the button pushes, right? And then you look down in a dramatic concentration pose. It's a deep concentration pose. And after about 4 seconds, you concentrate so hard that you and your avatar plunge into the darkness, right? And you sit there in the dark and you wait. And after about 10 seconds, you start wondering, why did Oculus make it take so long to reset the device? I don't know. After about 15 seconds, you start thinking about how your friends have been doing. You haven't seen them in a while. You wonder how they are. After about 20 seconds, you start thinking about, life, the big questions, right? And then after a little few seconds more, all of a sudden, out of the darkness, the Oculus logo emerges like a bat signal, right? And when it starts to pulse, you just pull your fingers away just like that, right? And all of a sudden, your device will start normally. And this is going to take care of most of the problems that you're going to have, not just in Altspace, right, but in other apps as well. All right, so it's a quick way to restart your headset. It's very effective. But occasionally, something more serious might happen. Like there was one time I left Altspace, and when I left, I got a message that said, Oculus Rooms is closing. And I said, okay, right, because that was the only button they had available, was that blue OK button. If this ever happens to you, don't press that. Go into that deep concentration pose. Because when I pressed that button, the main screen just said loading. And this went on for a couple minutes. So what I did was I went into that deep concentration pose, right, and then my device restarted. And it still said loading. So I knew something very serious was going on. So I asked my good friend Google about it. And Google said that a lot of people were having this problem. And the best thing I could do was a factory reset. So you need to know about the factory reset, but you got to be warned, okay? If you have any pictures on your device that are saved in your gallery, you're going to lose those, right? You're going to have to re-download all of your apps. You won't have to pay for them again, right? And you're going to lose all of your preferences. Like you might even lose your Beat Saber scores. So it's very serious. But it's good to know that this is an option in the event that you need to put the device back the way it was the day you got it. All right. So, it's also a cool way to revisit that tour where you dance the robot and all that stuff. Right. All right. Now, let's see here. Now, if you are here today, you are familiar with your guardian system already because you've done that tour. You have danced with the robot. You've played with that blimp. It's a good time. All right. But I'm going to show you how you can use that guardian system to your advantage in Altspace. Remember before I asked if any of you guys were getting dizzy, right? One way, if you're even if you're not on the Quest, if you experience dizziness in VR, especially if you're new, what you can do, right, is take a good look at your hand, right? If you're feeling dizzy, right? And focus on that hand, right? And as soon as that dizziness starts to pass, take that hand away from your face slowly and take in the world around you. This can really help with that, but so too can your guardian system. Right? Now, if you're messing around with your guardian system, I like to tell everybody, please be careful, all right? Because a lot of times you see somebody walking along in Altspace, they're having a good day, and then all of a sudden, bam, they hit a wall, right? You don't want to damage your device, and you certainly don't want to hurt yourself. So be very careful. Like if you're new to VR, it pays to lead with your hands, right? So as you walk around your space, just stick your hands out in front of you. And when you get close to the edge of the Guardian, you're going to see that grid appear in the air in front of you, right? But you know what? Let's say I walk up to my real world wall right now. I put my hands out, I get close to it, the grid appears in the air, and I can still touch my thumbsticks, right? So what I can do now is as I move my thumbsticks around, I can actually come up to the screen here, and I can line up my grid with this screen, and then I can take, it back up, take it all in. That's good. And now this is going to create a reality anchor that's going to make me feel attached to the real world. And oh no, I've fallen off the stage. All right. Now let's say you guys are not a nice audience, right? Let's say that you guys are going to mess around with me, right? So what you can do is come over here and stick your hands in my face, try to make me dizzy, give me the worst you got. I haven't tried this with new avatars yet, so let's see how this goes. As long as I can see that screen, as long as I can see that display, and you guys can try to block it out, but I can still see it. It's huge, right? You've got gaps here, you got gaps here, all over the place. You got these gaps, and I'm not losing my place. I'm not losing my ability to speak at all. You guys aren't messing me up in the least, right? And this is because I feel attached to the real world because I have a reference point, that screen. You don't got to use something big like that. You can use the edge of the stage here. Like maybe this is about the height of your table or maybe the height of your desk, and you can line that up. And in this way, you'll have a reality anchor and in a way to make you feel more connected and more balanced, all right? So that's a good way to use your guardian system to your advantage. Also in Altspace, you can transition between a room scale experience and a stationary experience pretty effortlessly. Shade dancing like the whole time. He keeps hearing that theme music. He just keeps going, all right? But yeah, you can transition pretty easily from a standing experience to a stationary experience effortlessly. So let's say I'm up here and I'm like, you know what? I've done over 300 shows in Altspace, and I'm tired. I'm really tired. I don't think I could go on anymore, right? So I need to sit down. So what I could do is I can walk up to the edge of my Guardian, right? Make sure I've got enough room for my head to pass through. So I stick my hands out like this. The Guardian appears, right? And then I go to stick my head through it and pass through camera off. And if you have the advanced features turned on, you can do that little double tap thing. All right, you do that little double tap, and I can see the real world. I can see I got my coffee right here, take a sip of that, and throw it down because I'm a rebel like that. And then I see I got my chair right over there. So what I can do is I can just walk on out over to my chair, right? I can turn around, I can sit down, and I can press that blue button, indicating that I'm going to have a stationary experience. And what I do, I'll notice that not only am I still in VR, right, but I'm also still in Altspace. I never left. So if you want to do that, you can actually do that. The only thing you have to worry about is your avatar is going to change height, and then all you have to do is press down on that left thumbstick, and then you're going to recenter, and you'll be more comfortable. See a hand going up there, TNT? We'll be taking questions at the end, so hang on to that, okay? Also, this works in the other direction. Like, one time I was moderating an event, and as I was moderating, I felt like getting up and walking around. So I stood up to go stand in my Guardian, right? And, I hear my voice is chopped. Okay, this has been happening in events lately. I apologize, it's less than professional, but I will be right back. Hang on, I'm just going to re-enter the space here. All right, here we go.
Wait, what just happened?
Okay, everybody. Let's see, is that any better? Let's see here. Is that any better? Everybody hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Let me see some
We can hear it.
some hearts here.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you guys are unmuted. I can hear you guys too.
Cut out.
Okay. Yeah, that's been happening in events lately. I don't know what's up with that. It's a thing where your voice gets choppy about halfway through the show, and that's what goes on. But what can happen is this works in the other direction too. So like if you're one time I was moderating this event, right? And as I was moderating, I felt like getting up and walking around. So I stood up and I stepped out into my Guardian. And the Quest sometimes can lose your Guardian. You're going to notice that sometimes you're going to want to have to redraw the boundary because either changing light levels or for one reason or another, your device can't resolve where it is in your space. So what you can do, right, is usually they tell you, make a draw a boundary. Normally that's not a big deal, but when there's 2 minutes left in the event, it's a very big deal. So I start drawing that boundary out again, right? And I'm drawing it out and I'm like, why is my space so big? I don't know. Of all the times to moderate for an admin, why did it have to be today? And then as soon as I close the loop, that grid comes up out of the ground, and I find not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. So just remember that you can have a seated experience or, a room scale experience and change between them without ever having to leave Altspace, okay? Let's see, what else do we have here? Also, this is pretty cool. This isn't useful. This is just neat. One thing you can do is if you go up to the edge of your Guardian system, right, and you get that grid right there, and make sure you got enough room for your head to pass through. As soon as you move your head through it nice and slowly, right, you're going to see the real world, right? But if you do this really slowly, there's a sweet spot where you can see both realities at the same time. And this is cool because this will give you a chance to see Altspace avatars in your actual real world environment. So whether you play in your office or in, maybe you play in your living room, wherever your play space is, you're going to see Altspace avatars in your home environment. And this is going to give you an idea of how tall they are. Like they're about 6 feet tall. They're a lot wider than you would think too. And you won't really know this until you see them in a familiar environment. So that's just fun to do. Now, one of the great things about the Quest is it just works, okay? That does not mean it can't work better. There's a variety of accessories that can really improve the experience. Like those earbuds that hang down from the sides. I don't know what I look like when I'm in VR, but I tell you, with these earbuds hanging down, I like to think I look fancy, right? They're like VR earrings, right? So one thing that you can do is, I would come into the campfire to test them, right, to see what they were like. And did you guys know there's a breeze in the campfire? I didn't know that. I went over to that fence area and I heard the water rushing by, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of ambient sounds in Altspace that can make the experience a lot more immersive. Definitely worth giving a try. All right, see, everybody's doing the wave over toward the camera. If you guys want to do that, you're actually going to have to stand on the rug here, right? Because the camera's not going to see it. The camera's only going to catch it here. So if you guys want to be doing the wave, you make a line up here. We can all try that if you want. All right, make a line and look at the person next to you and start doing that wave thing. Sometimes people do that. It's a lot of fun. All right, but while we're waiting for that, while you guys are setting up to do that, if a lot of people will say that the Quest is uncomfortable. All right, now Oculus doesn't do a great job of actually advertising the fact that there's a breaking in period for your headset. Right, when I first got my Quest, I had a sore that developed on my forehead from it. What actually happens is give it a couple of weeks while the break-in period happens, and the oils in your face are actually going to soften the insert and with that on their headset. And what that'll do is it'll make it more comfortable. Now, some people will think there's something wrong with their headset, and they're going to try to modify it with a counterbalance weight, or they're going to try using an external battery pack. And there's a variety of options that can really improve the experience that way. But you don't want to do it too soon. You want to wait for this break-in period to pass. So the springs will get adjusted, and this will actually change the balance of the device. So if you modify it too soon, what can happen is the balance will be shifted, and then in a couple of weeks when it breaks in, it's going to be shifted again, and you're going to be one of those people who thinks the Quest is uncomfortable. And it's not true. right? Once it's broken in, it's going to feel like you're not wearing anything on your eyes at all. These just become your eyes in the same way these just become your hands, right? So that's a good thing you can do. In the event though, after that break-in period is up, you still find it uncomfortable. There's a variety of things you can do that are going to help the experience. You're going to find, for example, we've got these inserts from VR Cover, right? And these feel like you got your face in a pillow. They're really nice. It comes with two of them, so one can be washed while the other one's in use. And in this way, it's a more hygienic experience, which is great. I can't recommend it enough. Also, to protect your headset, we have these prescription insert lenses that you can get. And this is good if you wear glasses because, listen, if you scratch your eyeglasses and you scratch your lenses on your VR headset, that can get really expensive really quickly. All right. So you want to protect your equipment. Also, speaking of protecting your equipment, the box that the Quest comes in is fantastic. But if you're going to travel and move around a lot, this travel case is a really great accessory to try. I can't recommend it enough. And if you want to give any of these a shot, they're easy to find. All you do is go to altvr.com, right? And once there, you're going to see in the upper left, there's a link that says channels. Now, when you click on channels, you're going to see there's all these Altspace event channels that are there. And down toward the bottom, not that that means anything, you're going to see Ravenholm events, like it says up in the sound booth there. And when you click on that, you get taken to our event page. And on our event page on the left-hand side, you'll see all these products listed there. And just below that, you'll see a join Discord button. If you want to join a Discord and say hello, you can. Also, at the very upper right, there is the most important button on the internet. That's where they keep it. All right, it's a subscribe button. And if you press that, Altspace knows that you enjoy our content, right? Also, we don't get paid to do this, so it makes it feel really good when we see that number go up, almost as good as it feels when you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you are watching on YouTube, you can find these products in the links in the description below. Okay, now let's see what else we have here. Now, we are taking your questions now or comments. Yes, you are going to see a raise hand button appear in your lower right, all right? As if by magic, because that's what magic looks like in VR. If you have a question or a comment, or you try an accessory, you want anything like that, do that, and you'll get on our list just by pressing the raise hand button. And while we wait for that to fill up, if you're on Twitter and you want to find us, you can find us at _ Uncanny Valley. I know it looks like 1 underscore, but it is actually 2. All right, I'm not seeing anybody on the list here. Okay, that's odd. All right, sometimes this doesn't work. Okay, but if you guys are, here we go. We've got let's see, what is that? I can't even read this. Genome PR something. All right, genome. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but where are you? Let's see. Should be right there. Where are you? Not seeing you, genome. Where are you, genome?
Right here. I'm sitting on the ground.
You're sitting on the ground. Oh, you're down low. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that genome project didn't really work out.
No,
you messed up. Now you're down there. Okay. All right, cool. Either that or the rug is really plush. What's your question or your comment?
It's nice. Okay, as far as like cleaning the lenses, I have terry fiber cloths. Is there any type of anything else that I should use to clean it?
Well, they said, I've read that you should always avoid using alcohol or cleaning products on your lenses because they are plastic that can actually denature it, right? So what you're going to want to do is if you go to the Oculus site, they will recommend certain brands of wipes you can use. But honestly, all you really need to do is take one of those microfiber cloths and give it a good wipe in kind of a circular, maybe make a little S formation on it. And that's all you ever really need. The more you keep it in the case, the less you're going to have to do this, right? Because the lenses do scratch very easily. All right, let's see. Who else do we have here? We also have Sakara. Sakara, you have I hope I'm saying that right. You have a question or a comment?
Okay. So my comment was that your voice is cutting out a lot, and there's a lot of reverb. That's why I was doing
there have been a lot of sound
raise
issues
hand
in
emoji.
Yeah, there have been a lot of sound issues in Altspace lately that have been resulting in us having to re-enter the space midway through performance. They are working on this, so hopefully in the next update that will be taken care of. Let's see. We also have Kayla. Kayla, how's it going? Let's see. Kayla, you're on the air. Kayla, you're out there.
I was just wondering, have you tried it? Like tried playing on a Quest, like on an airplane?
On an airplane. Believe it or not, you're not the first person to ever ask that, right? Now, what's going to happen there is your Quest gets its reference from the space around you. So actually, if you did that, you would be fine because it would actually be using the seats in front of you and the environment around you to determine the movement. And it uses reference points, so it wouldn't actually be able to tell that you're like that high in the air. Although I did know of somebody who actually used their play space and they actually went up a flight of stairs in their play space, right? And that was pretty cool. They got the avatar super high up, higher than Ravenholm is now. It was a pretty cool thing. But yeah, so a plane probably wouldn't affect it very much. But it'd be interesting to try that. I'd like to find out. Let's do that for science. All right. Let's see here. Let's see, who else do we have here? We have Genome again. Actually, no, I think you're on from before. Okay, listen, if I haven't gotten to anybody, what we're going to do now is we're going to go out to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. So we're going to teach everybody how to fly if you haven't yet learned how. And the way we're going to do this is we are going to press this red button here. And to do that, what we're going to do, right, is we're going to take out the stage blocker. So you guys can come up here if you want to help me out if you want, by help me pressing this button here, right? What we're going to do is we're going to count to 3, right? We're going to push this, put you back into it because sometimes it sticks, all right? Ready on 3. 1, 2, 3, push.
Ravenhall Talon aircraft en route to your position.
Look out this window. Now that's a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft. You guys can fly that if you wanted to come over out here and join me through the back area here and go out into the yard. We'll meet it as it comes down. And if you've learned anything here today, please share it with all those who come in contact with. So if somebody's like down low in the ground, you're like, what's wrong? And they're like, I'm on a quest and I'm stuck on the ground. You tell them to press down that left thumbstick. They'll pop up and they'll feel better. You'll feel better because you help somebody, and that's how we keep this thing going. All right, here it comes, everybody. Here it comes. Here we are.
Talon aircraft is now boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy.
All right.
Please exit the building and step into the blue light. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Get in that blue light, and I'll see you at the academy. Thanks for coming. Great audience.